Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today, we look at the show known as Sister Princess. Now, there's multiple things I want to put out into this video first before I review it because I think that's very important. Number one, when I was younger, there was no thing such as Mal. That was backwards what I just said, but don't worry, I'm sticking with it anyways. You know, Mal is, I think, one of the coolest things about anime in the world in general, of just now understanding what you're about to watch, or just at least see other people's kind of comments and thoughts about it. I mean, more so even when I was younger, also, the internet was still growing in popularity, but it wasn't at the, I think, huge of, like, section it is now, where when I was younger, it was still becoming into being. It was, you know, it wasn't that it wasn't popular, but it was more so, it had yet to be so popular. I mean, I was born when the internet essentially was becoming into being, but that's really weird statement. Like, I know a lot of people say they're young and stuff like that, but then you realize, wow, I came out when the internet started, essentially. Whoa, that's weird. I don't like saying that. Anyways, no, but the one thing also about the internet that did help was finding what anime would, I think, be correct in terms of watching. Like, there was a lot of anime that you would want to watch because you saw that other people liked it, more so than just going, oh, I see this show, I'm just gonna try it out. And you know, there was I forgot who said it on a YouTube video a long time ago, but someone said on YouTube that what was funny about the Nintendo days, like when, you know, Nintendo games were actually coming out, what they said that was actually funny was that you actually had to physically play the game to understand what the game you were playing was like. So that meant that you couldn't go you really couldn't go around asking people, oh, what's this game like? What's this game like? Unless you knew someone else, like a friend or someone like that, who actually had bought the game and had played it. But otherwise, you were in the dark about a game. I think anime was very similar to that when anime was really starting to grow in popularity and you start seeing all these different shows come out in the West. Because Sister Princess is probably the perfect example I could think of. Now, when Sister Princess came out, I was like 11, 12 years old around that. It came out in 2001. It's a 26 episode series. I'm reviewing the 26 episode series. I'm not reviewing the sequel to it because I'll be honest with you guys and girls, I don't remember a lot of the sequel. I know I saw it, but I remember more of the original one. And I am looking on Wikipedia right now for the names. I swear that's all I'm looking up, the names for the stuff. I'm not looking up like the stories and stuff like that. And if you even want, you can look at Wikipedia yourself. You're not going to find very much in terms of explaining the story, so you'll know that I'm talking not really just out of my ass, but more so me actually talking and knowing what the show is about. But anyways, guys and girls, let's get on to the review for this. And also, just another note that, again, it sounds like a creepy title, but really, I think more so the visual novel is creepy compared to the actual anime. The anime is not as creepy. It's more so a comedy harem, but I would kind of be bewildered to call it a harem when really there's no romantic, I want to say, actual doings in the show. Like, there's romantic concepts of the show, but there's nothing creepy about it. It's more so a comedy, and it's got some drama and stuff like that. So anyways, our main character, the brother of the sister princesses, is called Wataru Minakami. Now, Wataru, I remember, was this kid who actually was a normal kid. He was in Tokyo high school. You know, he was just hanging out regularly, and then was told that he had a whole bunch of sisters from various, I don't want to say mothers, but he was more so that they were various sisters in general. I forgot exactly what they said. If they were, I know they weren't all per se blood related to him, but most of them were. But he had all these sisters, and he's told that he needs to go take care of them. And he doesn't fully understand why he has to go take care of them, but more so he's told that, you know, go over here, you know, your sisters will care about you. You guys can go to this thing called Promised Island, and you'll actually go and you'll live there and you'll take care of your sisters and all that. Now, there are 12 sisters. I'm just going to name the names off of them. I'm not going to go into all their concepts. Really, I'll go into like the whole thing in a second. You had Arya, Chikage, Haruka, Hinako, Kaho, Karen, Mamoru, Marie, Rinrin, Sakuya, Shirayuki, Yotsuzuba, and that's it. Now, that's a lot of names. But in general, what was funny about this show was that when the brother actually came to the island, I remember this strongly, the fact of the matter was that he was then, you know, kind of in charge of taking care of them. And at first they were kind of going like, well, who is this guy essentially? But as the show goes on, more so like by like a couple episodes in, they really open up to him, and they notice that he really tries to protect them, and he's kind of trying to learn about them, and more so it's trying to be like a brother more than trying to be a lover or anything like that. However, some of the girls, some of the sisters, I will not lie, do act really creepy towards them. So I'm warning you guys and girls right now, they are a few creepy moments. And I remember specifically one of his sisters who would constantly be like always up in his grill about stuff, and it was really odd to see, but it did happen. Now, overall though, the show had very nice animation for a 2001 show. I mean, it kind of reminds me a mixture of like Canon or Shuffle type thing. That's what it reminds me of. I'm not saying it looks like that per se, but it does remind me of that. And in many ways, what made Sister Princess for me so good was that it was funny in the sense that you had all these characters having different personalities and being so extravagant with some of their personalities. Like, I know one of them was like into dark arts. You had another one who was really into like doing athletic stuff. You had another girl who was really kind of like the tsundere character and all that. And it was funny. I remember, the stuff that Wataru has to deal with as, both their brother and I want to say kind of potential anything else. He would have to deal with this and just find ways of staying sane, but he loved doing it. And you can see that when I remember the last episode, actually him having to deal with having to go away from them initially for a reason I won't spoil, of course, for anyone who wants to watch this show. It really broke him up, and it made him kind of do some interesting things even then. But overall, the show was not a bad show. I want to point that out. The show sounds weird. It sounds disturbing even on paper. Like, you think, oh, Sister Princess, I'm not going to watch that. It's going to be probably creepy and all that. There are some creepy things to it. Like, that's to be expected with an anime type like this. But overall, this was not that bad. This was more so a comedy show that just showed, I think, a brother trying to be very clingy to his sisters to protect them, and their sisters being clingy towards him. And that's not unheard of. There are a lot of families that do have clingy brothers and sisters, especially because he was slightly older than all of his sisters. Like, I think all of his sisters are slightly younger than him, so they rely on him and want him to be around, and they really care for him, and they try to make up for lost time, because remember, the show has it where there really has been a big gap in time of them being together per se as brother and sister go. Now, overall, though, the show was very good. It wasn't anything to write home about. Like, I'm not going to give it an A, I'll tell you that right now. But it had nice animation that I thought was still nice. I looked up even Animation Watch right now. It's still decent. It's showing age, of course. It's a show that came out in 2001. It's going to look old. 26 episodes, it looks old. But the music was okay for it. Voice acting actually had some very popular voice actors and actresses in it that are from stuff even nowadays. So, I mean, you're not going to be going into it completely with voice actors you've never heard of. There were actually a lot of voice actors. Like Lucy Christian, I think, plays one of the girls, and various characters like that. But overall, it's a good, solid show. That's why I found a review, Sister Princess A through F. I have to give it at least a C+. It was a show that, I probably would not have watched now, being an adult, but more so I watched it when I was younger because I really was new to watching different shows, of more so just finding the shows I wanted to watch. So I really had nothing to go off of. When I got older, like when I became a 13-year-old, and you start seeing things like the kind of illegal anime websites come up, the one thing about those illegal streaming sites that came up was that back then, they were really one of the only ways to kind of legitimately watch anime if you wanted to watch it, because a lot of the shows were not coming out readily available in the US. Like, I mean, you can see them with English voice actors and stuff like that, but the thing was that a lot of these shows were not like buyable right away. They were and if they were really expensive, and a kid can't ask their parents, hey, can you buy me a show that's like $90, $80? Because I remember it. I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but anime one time was super expensive. Like, people complain about it now. They see an anime in a Best Buy or in a I want to stop trying to think of Amazon or something, that they say, oh my god, $60 for anime, how cool. Dude, there was a time when anime was like $90 to $100. I kid you not. And if you don't believe me, go look back to some of that. Was all of it like that? No. But there was a lot of shows because they were a lot harder to find. It wasn't, once anime, I think, became a little more popular, like where stuff like the I want to say like Bleach and Death Note and all that stuff. Once they started coming out, you started seeing a kind of reduced price where, anime was kind of getting cheaper. You could buy for like $30, $40, but it was a lot more expensive when I was younger. But anyways, guys and girls, that's it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, like, subscribe, share the video, the whole nine, guys and girls. And as always, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.